Well, if I were to take you back, way back to when things were rosy and content, you'd find me and my wife, Janine, living a comfortable life. Just the two of us in our cozy little home in the suburbs. 22 years of marriage. You know, that's no small feat. You'd see us every morning sipping our coffees together, reading the news and casually chatting before heading off to our respective jobs. Me, I'm a systems engineer, and Janine. She's a high school principal. Our evenings, well, those were spent cooking dinner together, watching our favorite TV shows, or simply sitting on the porch talking about our day, our plans, our dreams. We loved our little routines. They grounded us, gave us a sense of security and, well, happiness. I reckon then there was our shared love for technology. Boy, we were both real tech geeks. We both had Apple Watches, matching ones a gift. We bought each other on our 20th anniversary. We used them for everything, tracking our health, staying connected, even controlling the gadgets around the house. But I didn't know at the time that these same watches would turn my world upside down. Yeah, you heard me. Right. It was her Apple Watch, her constant companion, that would eventually reveal the secret she'd been hiding. But that's the beginning of this Apple Watch nightmare, where things started to change. Subtly. At first, Janine started coming home later and later from work, saying it was due to the increased workload. She was also constantly on her phone, or more specifically her Apple Watch. I didn't think much of it at first. I mean, she was a principal and her job was demanding. Right. I thought she was just caught up with work. But then there were these small things that didn't add up. She was more withdrawn, didn't want to talk much, and started avoiding all our usual evening chats. It was like she was there, but her mind was somewhere else. And then there was her Apple Watch. Now, she'd always been keen on it, used it for everything, but now it was like she was glued to it. Always checking it, responding to messages even during our limited time together. But I still dismissed it, thought maybe she was dealing with some school crisis or something. But boy, was I wrong. My gut started giving me signals that something wasn't right. I tried ignoring it, but it kept gnawing at me. That's when I decided I needed to know what was going on for my own peace of mind. Little did I know what I was about to uncover. It would change everything, and I mean everything. So one day Janine, she left her Apple Watch at home, said she was in a hurry and forgot it. She called me from work, asked if I could charge it for her. I agreed, of course, and didn't think twice about it. So I placed it on the charger, and that's when I saw it. A message popped up on the screen. It was from some guy named Tom. It read, "Miss, you already can't wait to see you tonight. Love." I was taken aback. The message. It was intimate, not something a colleague or a friend would send. My heart sank. But I tried to calm myself down. Maybe it was the wrong message or a joke. I told myself, but deep down I knew it wasn't. I felt betrayed, hurt, didn't know what to do. But I knew I had to confront her. Had to know the truth. That evening when she came home, I showed her the message, asked her to explain her face. It turned white. She looked like she had seen a ghost. She stuttered, said it was a mistake, that Tom was just a friend and it was a joke, but I knew she was lying. Her eyes, they couldn't meet mine. I felt my world crumbling. My wife, my partner for 22 years, was cheating on me. It was hard to take in. I felt my heart breaking, but I knew I had to confront. This had to face the reality. So after that confrontation, things between us, they went south. We fought, we argued, and then we stopped talking. The house was filled with tension and awkward silence. That was too heavy to bear. Janine. She tried to explain, said it was a mistake, that she wasn't cheating, but the trust was already broken. I couldn't believe her. Not after what I saw. I was hurt, but more than that I was angry. I mean, 22 years, that's a long time, isn't it? I thought we had a bond that couldn't be broken, but I guess I was wrong. So I made a decision that would change all our lives. I decided to file for divorce. It was hard, but I knew it was the right thing to do. I couldn't live with the betrayal. Couldn't pretend that everything was fine. When I told her about my decision, she was shocked. She pleaded, cried and said she was sorry, but it was too late. The damage was already done. She suggested marriage counseling, thought it could save our marriage. But I wasn't interested. I had no intention of saving a marriage that was based on lies. I told her no. And she looked at me, disbelief in her eyes. Now, during the divorce proceedings, things got a little crazy. Janine was adamant about saving our marriage. She kept pushing for marriage counseling, but I was not having any of it. She reached out to our friends, our family tried to get them to talk to me, convinced me to give our marriage another chance. But I was firm. I knew what I wanted, and that was out of this sham of a marriage. It wasn't easy. Let me tell you that there was pressure from all sides, and then there were the legal proceedings. Divorce is not a simple process. It's messy and it takes a toll on you. The court hearings, the lawyer meetings, the division of assets. It was all overwhelming, but I stood my ground, faced it all head on. Janine. She tried to play the victim card, tried to make me look like the bad guy, but I wasn't fazed. I knew the truth, and that was all that mattered to me. I knew she was guilty. She knew she was guilty. The Apple Watch message was pro enough. And the court, they saw it too. You see, even after all of this, Janine, she was relentless. She still believed she could save our marriage. She kept on insisting on marriage counseling, but I still wouldn't budge. Now, there was a reason why I was so adamant about not going for marriage counseling. I mean, the thought of sitting in a room talking about our issues seemed pointless to me. I already knew what the problem was. Janine had cheated on me, betrayed my trust. No amount of talking was going to change that. I wasn't interested in mending things. I wanted to move on. But let me tell you, Janine, she was crafty. She again tried to manipulate the situation. Still tried to make me feel guilty. She again kept playing the victim card. Acted like I was the one who was abandoning her. She cried, pleaded, said she was sorry that she made a mistake, but I wasn't buying it. Not anymore. I was done with the lies, deceit. I wanted out, and nothing she said or did was going to change my mind. Now, there's one final thing I got to tell you: the divorce proceedings. They were done. I was free from the marriage. But Janine, she had one last trick up her sleeve. She walked into court one day with this look on her face, a look. I couldn't quite figure out we were there for the final hearing to put an end to this mess once and for all. She stood up, looked at the judge, then at me, and she said she was pregnant. Now I got to tell you that threw me for a loop. My lawyer, he was quick, asked for a paternity test. I agreed. Of course, if the kid was mine, I would take responsibility. But I knew Janine. I knew she was lying, and guess what? The paternity test came out negative. Janine. She was caught in a lie. Once again, the judge wasn't pleased, and that was it. Our divorce was finalized. Janine. She was left with nothing, her lies, her deceit. It all came crashing down on her. Me, I was free. Ready to start my life, and so that's my story of how my wife of 22 years got caught.